Epstein's death highlighted multiple failures within the correctional system. Standard protocols, including regular cell checks and camera monitoring, were either ignored or improperly documented. Staff shortages, scheduling errors, and procedural lapses combined to create a high risk environment. Oversight mechanism designed to prevent harm did not function as intended. Security procedures were inconsistent. Surveillance camera in critical areas malfunctioned or recorded incomplete footage. Guards failed to conduct routine checks, sometimes taking extended breaks or falsifying logs. These operational lapses allowed Epstein to remain unmonitored for extended periods. Infrastructure's issue also contributed. Cell assignments and inmate management protocols were not adjusted for high risk individuals. Isolation combined with weak monitoring increased vulnerability. This exposed systemic weakness in how the facility handled detainees with high profile sensitive cases. Accountability within the facility was limited. Supervisors relied on reports from subordinate staff that later proved inaccurate or incomplete. There was no immediate correction action despite prior warning of risks. This reflects structural gaps rather than a single human error. The cumulative effect was a breakdown in custodial responsibility, whether intentional or accidental. The failures ensured that Epstein detention environment could not guarantee safety. This incident revealed weakness that extended beyond one facility, highlighting systemic risk in handling high-profile detainees. The autopsy on Epstein revealed findings that sparked debate among forensic experts. The official report classified the death as suicide by hanging, but some forensic pathologists noted injuries that are statistically more common in homicidal strangulation than typical hangings. These discrepancies created immediate questions in the public and professional communities. Contradictions existed in the interpretations of fractures and soft tissue damage. Some injuries were highlighted as unusual for self-inflicted hanging, while others were consistent with suicide. Differing opinions among experts fueled confusion, making a single narrative difficult to establish. This ambiguity persists in public discourse. Timing and documentation of the autopsy also added to uncertainty. Some preliminary reports were released before full analysis, while key evidence remained sealed or incomplete. This contributed to the perception that the findings were inconsistent, even if later reconciled in part. Lack of transparency amplified doubts. Conflicting interpretation affected both legal and media narratives. Lawyers, journalists, and the public used different aspects of the reports to support opposing conclusions, whether intentional or accidental. These contradictions highlighted weakness in how forensic evidence was communicated. The net effect was public uncertainty that persists to this day. The autopsy did not prove foul play, but the inconsistencies created a credibility gap. For high profile cases, perception of ambiguity can be as consequential as factual evidence. In Epstein's case, it reinforced existing distrust in institutional handling of the situation. Epstein's death triggered immediate concerns about institutional liability. Correctional facilities, federal prosecutors, and supervisory agency faced potential legal exposure for negligence. Every procedural lapse, missed cell checks, camera failures, staffing shortages became a liability issue. Regardless of intent, institutions reacted to protect themselves first. Liability concerns shaped internal communications and public statements. Officials emphasized adherence to policy and minimized acknowledgement of system failure. Damage control became the priority over transparent investigation. This is typical in high-profile cases where exposure can lead to lawsuits, media scrutiny, and political consequences. Legal exposure extended beyond the jail itself. Attorney for Epstein victims could use procedural lapses to pursue civil claims against multiple entities. This created incentives to shift blame downward. or delay disclosure. Institutions prioritize mitigating financial and reputational risk rather than admitting operational deficiencies. The logic also influences the speed and scope of subsequent investigations. Agencies balance evidence collection against potential self incrimination. Rapid conclusions, selective disclosure, or sealing of reports are consistent with minimizing liability. Decisions were guided less by fact finding than by risk management. Systemic liability logic explains why Epstein's that, while technically a suicide, became a flashpoint for institutional scrutiny. Risk perception and exposure governed responses, revealing structural priorities more than individual failings. This incident exposed how institutions behave under high profile pressure.